Don't compromise, just use your eyes. Take a look inside the millennial mind. Millennial mind.
Welcome to the Millennial Mind. You might call us lazy and entitled, but it's time you start to understand the millennial generation and break free of all the negative stereotypes. Get the knowledge you need to attract, retain, and engage the millennial generation and the millennial mind. Take them from entitled to engaged, to valuable parts of the organization. And who better to tell you this than two actual millennials themselves. I'm Garrett Wagner, millennial mind, millennial supporter, here with the funny man, the rapper, the entertainment mogul, the rapping CPA, Drew Carrick. Just making like smiley faces to everybody out there. Send them love notes, send them little I love yous. So, Drew, I thought today we'd kind of expand on our last one talking about content marketing and really dive into why personal branding is so important today for millennials and people who understand why millennials find personal branding so important.
So it's obviously something that's really hits home for me and for you as well. And for all of us who are these content creators. There's so many content consumers out there scrolling through Instagram, scrolling through Facebook, seeing what's out there. And content's almost become like a commodity now. But there's a joy that I sort of get with creating this content and seeing how people react to it. And on a larger scale, and this is my sort of philosophical mindset behind it, is the Macklemore lyrics. The first time you die is when they bury you in your grave. And the second time you die is when the last person mentions your name. And so the more content that we go ahead and we put out there, the sort of more our face exists and it's going out to the universe, and maybe the aliens will see it 5,000 years from now and whatnot. But as far as Earth is concerned, we're putting things out there that are hopefully making an impact. It's affecting somebody. And millennials, we want to leave a legacy. We want to create, do social justice and make an impact in the world, and not just, be on standby and just become, one of, thousands of years of human history, but actually be somebody that makes a ripple effect that, influences someone's life.
Yeah. And I'm going to start out with your little comment there on the second time is the last someone mentioned our name. So just so Dr. Sean doesn't die tonight, Dr. Sean, I'll say that a couple times, keep him fresh in everybody's mind, even though he's not here. But yeah, that's that personal brand. It encapsulates who we are. And I think going forward, especially driven by millennials, there's a big difference important in not being incredibly unique, everybody needs to be totally different. Everybody has to have their brand, but just tying it back to for all of us individually, you, me, and everybody, what makes us different? And do we know that? And are we connected with that? And is there something that makes us unique that we can be excited about? And that doesn't mean we need to kind of be an Instagram star, a Facebook star, a YouTube star, whatever that is. You can have your own personal brand just for the 10 people you interact with. It really boils down to, it means the fact of who am I, what do I do, and what value do I bring to those around me? And do they know what that is? So we don't always have to think about it. It's important. We talk about this a lot of kind of this high level, personal brand, social media influencers, but sometimes we got to bring it down to just you and me as a people and the people we interact with. So Drew, let me ask you, and this probably isn't what you thought I was going to talk about here, so it's a little curveball for you. What do you want the people in your life, the people you work with, what do you want them to think about Drew Carrick?
So that's it's interesting, because as you were saying that, I was thinking the whole purpose of personal branding almost is it's about how you can live outwardly, expressing your inward self that, over generations ago maybe weren't allowed to express how they felt or who they actually were and whatnot. And that's something millennials have really embraced, is I can be whoever I want to be and I can show it to the world and present it however I want to present it. Who am I? The easiest way to sum up the complex individual that is Drew Carrick, AKA Petty Cash, AKA Ditto, AKA Young Nilly, AKA the rapping CPA, AKA can go on and on and on, is this versatile, multi-potentialite, modern day Renaissance man, Da Vinci.
Ooh. Wow. That's a lot of buzzwords.
Yeah, the multi-potentialite thing is really what kind of comes to me. And I saw the TED Talk by Emily, who had given this, talking about, hey, that's me. I'm the multi-potentialite. It's this integral piece where you're a liaison essentially between whether it's in a business, you could have the finance team, the marketing team, the IT team, and they all need that multi-potentialite to tie it together, to be the translator. And it's sort of what I feel like millennials are between Gen X and Gen Z, these translators. And so that's why I want to be known as that person that can do it all, that can be the connecting piece that you want in the room to help get your point across, that's going to understand you and be able to convey what you're trying to say to somebody else, for you.
I like that. So that's Drew's value, is being that connector and trying to make sure. And do you feel like those that you work with perceive you that way?
I definitely think that at this point, anybody that's come into contact with me sees me as a sort of jack of all trades, and the entertaining, right side of the brain personality, but still that professional, you're a CPA though, left side of the brain personality. And so I've learned I embrace that, wholeheartedly. But I got a question for you. What is the brand that you're trying to kind of output?
For me, that should be obvious. It's the entrepreneurial CPA.
Yeah.
How can we break free of the past of how we've always been viewed as an accountant? And really for me, it highlights my personal journey I went through in life, from being a traditional old school CPA that went into accounting because he liked numbers and didn't really like people and wasn't outgoing, and said, sure, I guess I'll do this. I don't know what else I'm going to do with my life. And kind of drifted through and wasn't really fulfilled doing that. It didn't truly enjoy it. And then we talked before, I wanted to make a bigger impact and do the things I'm doing today. And I had to learn these skills to become an entrepreneurial CPA. Take that entrepreneur, like you said, that right brain and left brain, the entrepreneur and the CPA, mash them together. I think it makes it really powerful. But yeah, I think a lot about like, how do I want others to view me? What's my personal brand? What value do I want to bring? And do people see that when they interact with me? Am I showing that value? I don't want to be seen as a negative, lazy, entitled, disconnected millennial that people just kind of scoff at. Like, yeah, it's a millennial, and it's part of the problem. I don't want to be seen that way. Yeah.
I'm always trying to dispel millennial stereotypes whenever I can, and I think you're definitely on the more professional side of our two CPA sort of. Yeah. But I embrace being that sort of goofier, off the cuff. But I do enjoy, I love suiting up. I love doing, I do opposites. So I do casual, I do formal Fridays. I like to look, my best on Friday, sort of. I like it. That mindset. I'm thinking we can kind of, maybe for your birthday, I'll get you a nice bright tie to kind of help with your expanding of the CPA, or bright bow tie, I should say. Bow tie.
Oh, bright bow. I don't have any bow ties. I mean, I got a lot of ties. Okay, I have a whole collection of ties, one for every occasion. Try and keep us sharp. Part of, like you said, is if you look at the older generation of CPAs, is all dark suit, white shirt, and a rather drab tie. Mm-hmm. Try and mix it up. Wear some with some color, some style. Look professional and stylish as we're doing it. Encapsulate that brand. Take it to all levels. So, Drew, this has been a great talk here. I've enjoyed this talk about personal brand. So, everybody watching, what do you think the 3 things they should do to better encapsulate their own personal brand?
It starts with first self-reflection. You got to look inward at your own, who, you have to think about it. Don't just go through the motions. Think about, who is it that I want to be, not what my parents want me to be, and not what my boss wants me to be, what I want to be. Then you have to start associating yourselves with other individuals who are on that same path as you. I follow this sort of mindset, 0 degrees off. For every degree off when you're a sailor that you're traveling a degree off from your direction, after an hour, you end up several miles off course, and that continues and continues. So you have to stay on course and aim at that. If someone's dragging you off, you got to stay focused, and if they come into your wake, they come into your wake.
So that'd be like if we ended up in New Jersey from New York. We're like, man, how did we get here?
Yeah.
It's a little subtle shout out to Dr. Sean.
It's amazing how the Pilgrims, landed where they did. And then the final thing would just be start putting yourself out there, whether it's through thought leadership, through videos, through the connections that you're making and the societies you're joining or the clubs you're part of, whatever it is. Put yourself into that demographic of where that brand fits into the grand scheme of things. And, you know, not everybody's going to go ahead and be making videos because not everyone's comfortable on camera or speaking or whatnot, but you find what it is that your niche is, and you kind of go for it from there. I like it.
Another good way to go as you pivot off those is you try and think of what your brand is. You know, don't be afraid to ask someone in your life, your personal, professional life, to go out to coffee or meet up for lunch or for dinner, meet at the bar, and just ask them, like, hey, what do they think your personal brand is? How do they think you're coming off? And really take a hard look and be open to that feedback of, does that jive with what you want to hear? Think about that. Personal brand matters. And I hope you learned something from that today. If not, reach out to us. We're always happy to talk on these subjects. And if you want to help us better understand millennials, no matter where you are, we'd love to spend some time with you, provide some unique insight into the millennial mind. And if you got thoughts of your own on the millennial mind, no matter your age or your generation, take part in our millennial survey. We want your input. There's a link below. We encourage you to take that test. That's it for today, everybody. Thank you for watching the show. Click to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Get the latest episodes when they pop. And as always, we're challenging you out there to take action today to change the world and invest in yourself.